What is up everyone, Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today I'm going to be talking about how I reached 100 plus 10s without wailing. So this is a big accomplishment for me and something I set out for myself to do to complete this year, and I was able to do it early in November. So it is almost the end of the year and I haven't had time to actually make the video until now, so here I am. If you guys follow me on Twitter or you saw my community post, you guys know Citrine was the icing on the cake for number 100. So yeah, it's been a crazy journey. I've been playing FEH since day one, and I've been here merit grinding like in the second or third year of the game since then. So I am a very avid hero merit grinder, and you know, it's still kind of a niche thing. Not many people do it, so I understand if you know why people don't do it or why they don't want to do it. But I have been asked over the years, you know, how the heck do you get so many plus 10s? And it's mainly because of hero merit grinding. Yes, I save orbs, and I'm not a completely free-to-play player. I've definitely dolphin for some of my characters, but I haven't whaled for any of them, at least in my opinion. I only spend money for my favorites, so yeah, not free-to-play, but definitely not a whale, and I think it's still pretty impressive, and I'm proud of this accomplishment. So yeah, I'm just going to be talking about how I did it, the people I had to thank that helped me out, and also just going over every single one of my plus 10. So you can skip ahead to that part. This video is going to be really lengthy, but I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, 100 plus 10s is real. It's a crazy accomplishment. I never thought I'd be able to reach it. So hero merit grinding, if you guys don't know, is the way of getting more feathers besides just, you know, sending people home or playing the modes. And I don't remember how I stumbled upon it, but I just found a video explaining how to do it on your iPhone, and I am an iOS user, so I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to set it up a little bit. Not an in-depth tutorial, because unfortunately the video that I used to follow and set it up correctly is gone. I can't find it on YouTube anymore, sadly. Maybe there's a guide out there for it, but yeah, if you're an Android user, it's I can't help you there. But yeah, just going to be talking about how I do it. So basically every week, right, there are rival domain maps, and every week you can use a team that can auto battle through it, to where every time you win, or if you beat the fort or take the fort, you know, every time you beat a map, your units will get hero merit. And you guys know hero merit, every 500 gives you 500 feathers. So that's the goal. You want to be able to clear it in a few amount of turns, and with free-to-play units, and those are solutions that people figured out, and I'm going to be talking about them as well. But basically, whenever you grind that up, you can get them up to 9,000 feathers. So every unit has 9,000, and every time every year they've increased the cap. So that helped with getting even more feathers. And just to show you guys that my hero merit grinding has been real, I will show you my hero merit list. It is quite extensive. So this is what I've been grinding over the years. Everybody here is maxed out, everybody that I could. So anytime I get a new unit, I want to hero merit grind them before foddering them off, because you know, I want to maximize the amount of feathers and make the most of them. So not everybody here is maxed out, because obviously some units I don't have another copy of, so you know, they've been foddered, so they don't have the most HM right now, but maybe someday I'll get them back. And of course some newer units that I haven't hero merit grinded yet. So yeah, that's my hero merit list. It's quite long, but that's just showing you guys that it's been real. I've been grinding for so long. I'm very, very dedicated to this. So yeah, that is my hero merit list, so you guys know it's real. And now I'll actually show you guys an example of how I do it. So rival domains, here we are, and this week's solution is on Infernal difficulty. So that's a bit rare, because most of the time it's gonna be on Lunatic, but I guess Infernal this week had the units needed. So we're gonna go to Infernal, and I'm gonna show you guys the solution. So here is the brigade that you need to use, according to Daion, which I'll talk about him later. But yeah, so Elliewood here is the first HM battery, the unit that I'm actually going to be hero merit grinding. So you want to make sure you unequip all your weapons and assist, and even certain skills that might affect stats and whatnot, to make sure they don't interfere with the solution. So Elliewood's there, Attuned Nino's there, Govig is here. They're all almost at 9,000 hero merit, and the core units that are needed for the solution are usually going to be free-to-play units. Sometimes they'll use like a 5-star exclusive like Legendary Leaf. Some weeks I wouldn't be able to do it because I didn't have him at the time, or even sometimes like Nasala, for example, was a popular choice for some of the solutions. And because mine is plus 10 compared to the person who showed me a solution that only had him at like plus 1 or no merged, you know, that's going to affect his gale forcing ability or his ability to kill. So you can you have to adjust sometimes depending on what units you have, but most of the time they're going to try to use it with free-to-play units because everybody has access to them. So Spring Loki, Iron Bow, Attack Smoke. We need Attack Smoke so she can survive an encounter and get to the fort. We're going to use Arion. He's getting popular for these. I mean, he's just a good unit in general, providing charge, and he is free to play, and he does have Wings of Mercy, so he can teleport to Loki. And then we have Lean. You can use any dancer. It doesn't have to be Lean. It can just be Olivia or something. So a lot of the time you're going to need Wings of Mercy, some kind of escape route unit, or a dancer for these solutions. So that is the brigade, and I'll show you guys how it works on auto battle. So we're going to go to Infernal. Again, most of the time it's gonna be on Lunatic, and unfortunately it is on Infernal this week, so I can't really show you the actual you know, the part where I'm actually going to auto battle it for real on my phone. So here's the manual auto battle. So we're just going to go to it, make sure everyone's in the right position, you know, make sure everyone has unequipped weapons except for the units that need it. We're going to hit auto battle. Loki's going to come in. She's going to survive a hit thanks to attack smoke and live with 1 HP, so it's perfect. It's very calculated. She's going to move up thanks to the charge status, get danced, and then Arion can finish the job. And you can see that I gained some hero merit for the rest of my units. So that's how I do it. And you're probably thinking, well, you have to do this over and over. Yes, that's what grinding is. You know, it gets tedious, but thankfully there is a way for me not to just continuously, you know, just loop this, hit fight, auto battle, right? So how I do it is through iPhone. On the iOS has these things and settings for accessibility. I forgot what it's called. Switch control. Basically, you can set your screen to follow a certain amount of touches or a certain route where your fingers are touching. I hope I'm explaining this right. It's kind of confusing because it's not an in-depth tutorial, but basically when you set these recipes, you can make a route for your touches on the screen. So you basically want the touches to touch the correct part. You want to make sure one of them hits fight, one of them hits auto battle, and then it can keep looping. So I'm going to show you guys. So I'm going to triple tap my power button. So when I do that, you can see that it says your switches are configured to use auto lunatic recipe. It says lunatic, so unfortunately it's going to touch the lunatic part, so it's not actually going to work, because like I said, this week's solution is for infernal. But I'm just going to show you an example even if it's not actually going to go through for the hero merit grinding. So you can see that it says switch control. I'm going to tap the screen and you can see the touches that I set. These black dots are set to hit fight and auto battle, and then just keep tapping so we can keep looping without me having to constantly tap the correct part. I still have to tap the screen because it's like a wind-up toy where you have to, you know, it's eventually going to stop. But whenever I tap the screen, it takes the input and it just cycles. So I believe one tap counts for one cycle. So you can see it's going, I'm not touching the screen right now, it's automatically touching it because of the recipe and the switch control. And again, this is not actually going to work because it's the wrong difficulty for this week, but you can see how this would work on Infernal if I had it set for Infernal. But yeah, so basically that's how it works, and I just keep tapping the screen. I would do this while I was doing homework. I would do this while I'm playing other games, so I can just grind this while I do other things. And yes, I have to touch the screen, but it's way better than just tapping it normally, manually. So yeah, if you want it to quit, you just either wait for the taps to stop. It'll eventually stop and, you know, run out of the inputs that you put on the screen. And then, or you can just triple click the side button and it'll eventually turn off. I think I've done it so much to the point where sometimes it's glitched and it doesn't stop when I triple tap, or maybe my phone is just old. But yeah, it just stopped right there. And yeah, I can cancel auto battle. Unfortunately, like I said, it's not on Lunatic this week, but you get the gist of it. I hope I explained that decently well. So yeah, basically that's the way of how I did it. And you have to go into your iPhone settings and set up recipes. You have to know where the tap is, so you have to kind of memorize the layout on the FEH game. So you have to know where Lunatic is, you have to know where the fight button is, you have to know where auto battle is, and that's what I did with those touches. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it. I hope I made some kind of sense on how to hero merit grind efficiently, the most efficient way. And honestly, that's not even the most efficient, because the taps I did were rather slow. You can do it much faster. But when I set it up, it was kind of difficult to do, and you know, it is a little bit tricky. So I just went with that, and it served me well. So yeah, that is how to do it. Not in depth. Again, I hope there's a guide out there somewhere. I know, because people have asked me, are you using like a macro or an auto clicker, like an external one? Like, no, it's in my phone. It's built into the iPhone. So I hope it's nothing like illegal, but it's built within my phone, so I took advantage of it. So yeah, that's basically how I did it. And now I'll show you guys the people that find out the solutions, the real MVPs for all my plus 10s. Alright, so here's the first man I followed for the Rival Domains Hero Merit Solutions, and it is Serg. So Serg is the Hero Merit grinding GOAT, at least in my opinion, on YouTube. And, you know, he was the guy that I followed for so long. He did this for 2 or 3 years, maybe even more than that. He quit making Hero Merit grinding solutions earlier this year, or a little over a year ago, so he doesn't make them anymore. But he will be remembered, and he is remembered for being the GOAT for these. And a lot of people, not just me, followed him for solutions. When he announced that he was going to stop, it was a bit sad, but we understood because he wanted to do other things. So he does upload different things on his channel, and I will leave it in description so you can check it out. But he still has the beginner's Hero Merit grinding farming guide, so that's pretty cool if you want to check that out. And he has some other few farming videos. But yeah, shout out to Serg. If you're somehow watching this, you know, I give you a big thanks. huge thanks. Without you, I wouldn't have this many. So yeah, shout out to Serg. Alright, so here's Daion, the person I currently follow for the HM grinding methods these days, and his latest video is the one that I showed on Infernal. So most of the time it'll be on Lunatic because Lunatic is obviously easier, but I guess sometimes Infernal on the rare chance is a bit easier for the free-to-play units. But yeah, he's very consistent with the solutions. Like, he posts them very quickly. Not saying that Serg isn't, but I don't think I've seen Daion miss a week. So yeah, here's his channel. Definitely check him out. As you can see, he does talk in a different language, so that can kind of be a barrier, but he does have solutions, or sorry, he does have translations for some of the skills, and obviously certain skills have universal icons, of course, so no worries there. But yeah, super shout out to this guy, because I'm gonna keep thanking him as long as he keeps doing these, because Serg doesn't do them anymore. So Daion has really picked up the torch, so to speak, I guess. And I guess a lot of people who followed Serg are now watching Daion. So again, big thanks to Serg and Daion. Without them, it wouldn't be possible, because I would not have the know-how or the patience to just sit down and figure out what free-to-play units can just clear this in a few turns. Because they really manipulate the AI and kind of bend it to their will, so you can complete it and get those hero merit feathers. So yeah, big shout out to them. I'll leave their channel links in the description. Okay, so now it's time to show all 100 of my plus 10s, starting off in the barracks. So everybody from base Marth all the way down to Lena is a plus 10, so that's 100 of them. And now I'll be showing you them in rival domains in the brigades, because it's more organized there, and I can show you them in order, at least to the best of my memory, because some of the early plus 10s that I completed in like 2018, 2019, I don't have the exact dates for, unfortunately. So some of them I just either I lost the post or I just don't have the date. So if I don't mention it, I don't have the date for it. So I kind of just guessed on where they are in the thing. So unfortunately, I don't have them all written down, but some of them I do, and later on I'll have pretty much all of them to their accurate dates. But yeah, so let's start with the first 20 of my plus 10s, number 1 being Mei. So Mei is my second favorite mage in the Fire Emblem series, as some of you guys might know, and it's absolutely blasphemous and criminal to me that she has nothing yet, not even a Resplendent. And when Ileana got hers, it felt like a punch in the teeth, because it's like she's a book 4 character, and Mei's been in the game since the first year and she still has nothing. It's insane. Not that I have anything against Ileana, it's just Mei deserved it more in my opinion, and I'm hoping in 2024 she at least gets a Resplendent or some kind of alt, because it's getting ridiculous at this point. But yeah, this build is a bit awkward, as you can see, but it's built for her attack speed link refine that she had back in the day, which was pretty good. But before that, I was using her as a Blade Tome user, and that's when Blade Tomes were at the peak of their powers pretty much, because everybody was using Blade Tome users to clear some of the harder maps, like Abyssal maps and stuff. And I used Mei a ton with the Blade Tome, and she was so fun to use. And I didn't have Lind at plus 10 yet, because she was obviously a 5-star exclusive, or she is a 5-star exclusive. So Mei was my go-to blue mage, and yeah, super fun to use back in the day, and I'm hoping she gets something in 2024. So that is Mei, and I could give her the Arcane Blue Tome, but I'm kind of waiting for the Resplendent. Like I said, some of these characters, I'm just waiting for the Resplendent to give me an excuse to update their build, because I do have 100 plus 10s, but not all of them are going to be decked out with the crazy skills. Obviously, some characters like more than others, and some of them I just don't have the resources for. So yeah, Mei, I'm just waiting for that Resplendent to really give her everything she needs. So that is Mei at number 1, who I completed on September 28th of 2018. Number 2 is Adult Tiki. I'm assuming she's number 2 because I don't have a date for her. But this is a very old school build. This is what dragons used to use all the time in arena and just modes in general. Steady breath, quick riposte. So a bit of a throwback there. I haven't touched it since then, so I should honestly update it. But she did get the nice Resplendent. I just haven't updated because I just have other better red dragons like Bantu with his Refine and her Ascended Young version. But maybe I'll update it someday. But that's Adult Tiki. Number 3 is my boy Marth. I wanted him to be my very first plus 10, but unfortunately I just didn't get lucky getting him or getting copies of him. So even back then when the red pool wasn't as crazy, RNG, I mean, it's RNG, right? So yeah, base Marth here. You do see him sometimes in my videos on my Martham clears to be there for support with his Falchion Refine, giving the +2 to all stats, and also just running drives and stuff and chill skills. So yeah, he's just there to support. He can take some hits here and there with his high HP and decently high defense, but yeah, he is a Gen 1. He's the first Marth, but he is the first Marth that I built, so I have a lot of good memories with him. But yeah, he's just mainly there for support these days on Marth Emblem videos. Number 4 is Katria, my favorite White Wing. She is running a simple build with Suspero 2 Desperation 3. Waiting for the Refine, just like Mei, to kind of give her a better build, but she can still put in work with her Refine, I guess, with her Triangle Attack Refine. This is a very flyer-oriented build with Ward Flyers Flyer formation. So that's Katria at number 4. Number 5 is Legion, my very first Grail project, who I completed on February 22 of 2019. He was a beast. Even before the refine, he was still pretty awesome as a axe infantry, so I definitely built him as a Fire Emblem 12 fan. And his refine was really good when it came out. He was definitely the winner of his batch, but that refine has not aged the best. So I gave him Arcane Downfall at this point, and now I'm using just Distant Stance, Repel 3. I should give him a speed-based DR skill, tier 4 one, but I don't have it right now. Time Pulse 3, so kind of a simple build. He doesn't have the best defenses, but he can take hits thanks to his high HP, so there's that. But yeah, Legion's always been fun to use, and he's my very first Grail project who I completed. So I'm hoping he also gets an alt, or one of his assassin friends gets one next year. Number 6 is Sheeta, Mar's lovely wife. I gave her, this is a bit of an outdated build, but also updated kind of, because she has this instance Pegasus 5-4 that I gave from Chloe. But Pegasus 5-4 is Pegasus Flight 4. Jeez, I can't talk. Is pretty much it's outdone by Guard Bearing 4 or Gambit, so kind of outdated, but I mean, I guess she can take some hits here and there from mages. She does have high res, but yeah, I should update her build maybe someday with like Arcane Devourer, or give her more Dragon Flowers and stuff. Joint Drive res. I even had Distant Ward on her from Brave Edelgard as well before I gave her Distant Stance. But yeah, that is Sheeta at number 6. Number 7 is Navarre, my second Grail project, who I completed on July 15 of 2019. The Silent Sword, the Scarlet Sword, he is a beast, and he was really fun to use back in the day with his weapon refine, because it let him loop AoEs pretty much unlike any other melee unit at the time. So even though he's not going to hit the hardest against some of the bulkier modern threats, an AoE is still an AoE, and he can chip some units down. It's really fun with Life and Death, Special Spiral, Defense Smoke to just maximize his damage. So I use him sometimes to take out some units with his AoE, because it's an AoE at the end of the day. But yeah, I'm hoping he gets a Resplendent someday. So that's Navarre. Number 8 is Merrick, who I completed on April 21 of 2019. He was one of the first mages that could really use close counter, but now it's not very good, because obviously the power creep and the power level has gone crazy. But it was still pretty fun to use this build. Dark Excalibur with Soul, you get the true damage, and you have healing, looping it with Special Spiral 3, and using his high defense for a mage to use close counter. So it was fun to use, but it's just not very good. I should maybe update him with like Arcane Caliburnus maybe someday, but I feel like there's other better mages for it. But that's my boy Merrick, and he got a good Resplendent, so yep, that is him. Number 9 is Sheena, the armor, one of the first, pretty much my first armor I built, and an armor that everyone built pretty much for arena scoring, alongside Wendy. So yeah, Sheena did get the Resplendent recently, which is pretty damn good. I really like it. So it definitely kind of incentivized me to update her build. I haven't yet, but I kind of want to give her Nearest Save to just make her a really bulky tank for melee threats. But she can use this encounter. I mean, she has high res. Res is a super boon for her, so that's cool. Crimson Axe was pretty good at the time. I mean, it's still, I guess, pretty good, but it's nothing crazy. I think Arcane Downfall is probably better for her, but you have to use something else in the B slot. But armors do have a lot of options, so I'm considering updating her build. So that's Sheena at number 9, and number 10 is my girl Lind, my favorite mage in the Fire Emblem series, and my favorite Archanea girl, as some of you guys might know. So here she is. She is easily my best Gen 1 unit that I've invested into, as you can probably tell. Arcane Euphoria is really fun. Attack speed finish 4, magical no follow, Time's Pulse, and she still puts in work for me. I used her in Arena Assault here and there. I used to use her in competitive modes back when it wasn't as crazy, but I kind of stopped using her. But she's still great to use here and there, and she hits pretty hard with all the skills I gave her. So whenever there's a new blue tome, maybe a faster Arcane blue tome, I'm definitely gonna give that to her first. So yeah, that should be fun. But for now, Arcane Euphoria is pretty fun. And that is Lind, and I completed her on September 8th, 2019. And when she got a Resplendent, I was through the roof. I still think it's pretty gorgeous. So yeah, Lind is just my pride and joy, and I'm happy to have her at plus 10. I saved up enough orbs to finish her on her weekly revival back in the day in 2019. So that was fun as well. I got pretty lucky. So yep, that's Lind at number 10. Number 11 is Roderick. The most memories I had with him was using him in Rucker Sieges, because his refine was pretty good back in the day for just darting blow with a fire sweep lance. But it was useful in Rucker because it helped them not counterattack, so he can just chip them and gale force with heavy blading stuff. But for now, he just has Luna on this build. Sparrow 3, so it's a little bit better than some of my other previous plus 10s, because at least he has the 3 version, and I gave him low speed defense. I think I got this from Regan. So yeah, I'm hoping he gets a Resplendent someday. But Roderick was definitely a really good unit for me back in the day. So I completed him on September 13, 2019. Number 12 is Nino. I think most players built Nino because she was the premier green Blade Tome user. And, you know, she's just super strong back in the day, being able to clear a lot of maps. Fury Desperation was the go-to. I mean, back in the day, that was pretty much the main build that you use for offensive units was Fury Desperation. So Nino was the epitome of that. And when she got the Refine, it made her even better. But obviously, since then, she's fallen off. So she's not as popular as she used to be. But now she has the Attune version, which is just a way better version of her, kind of a revamped version of the Blade Tome. So there's that. But yeah, I built Nino because she's just super strong. And why the hell not? I mean, it's Nino. So yeah, number 13 is Church or Churche. I still don't know how to say her name. I'm gonna call her Church because I always called her Church, so I apologize if that's wrong. But yeah, she's one of my favorite Awakening characters, and she has pink hair, so that's a plus. I always like pink hair characters. And yeah, she was just super useful alongside Mei. I used to team them up together a lot for Abyssal maps because, you know, she hit hard with her high attack stats as a Brave Axe user, and when she got her Refine, made her even better with Panic Ploy. And Gale Force, Deathblow 4, Heavy Blade in the Seal was a lot of fun to use back in the day, so she helped me a ton. And I hope she gets the Resplendent. Number 14 is Nasala, my third Grail project. He's my 14th plus 10. Third Grail project, who I completed on January 3 of 2020. And yeah, I just had to build him because he was super good. Even now, he's pretty good, you know. He was the first Beast Flyer that was in the Grail shop and one of the first Beast units in general, so having that extra mobility was really enticing, and the true damage that he had pre-refine was pretty good too. And yeah, Nasala was just super sick. I love the design, and I definitely, you know, gave him premium skills from his Forma. So I gave him attack speed cash. I don't think Clash was available at the time, so I want to give him Clash at some point, but for now this will have to do. But yeah, Nasala is super fun, one of the most fun Grail units in my opinion, and I definitely don't regret building him up. So I completed him January 3 of 2020. I'm not sure if I said that already, but sorry if I did. Number 15 is Maria, Michaelis and Minerva's little sister. I just built her because she was my first healer that I built, but I just never really use her much because I don't have much use for healers. I completed her on January 19, 2020, but yeah, this build is just weird. Attack res solo 3, I guess because she has high res, but I think she would want more speed as a Pain Plus Savage Blow healer. But yeah, I mean, I just don't use her that much, but she does have the Fallen version, which makes up for it, obviously, which is way more powerful. But yeah, Base Maria is my 15th plus 10, who I completed on I already said it right. Yeah, January 19. 16 is George, the fabled archer from Archanea. He was one of the first units that had damage reduction in his weapon refine. So Parthia, you know, the Regalia, unfortunately, they haven't been done justice in FEH, but Parthia at the time was still pretty good because, again, it's one of the first weapons with DR. So with this, he was able to tank mages pretty well and, you know, bait out certain dancers like flying dance mages like Legendary Zura, Dual Peony. So that's what I usually use him for nowadays, just to bait out certain mages. I give him Mirror Stance for extra res and attack. Vantage is just there because it's a budget B slot. Attack Smoke, so that's pretty much his main use for me these days. But yeah, that's George. And then number 17 is Faye. I built Faye because I liked how she was a little bit different to the other dragons. You know, the other dragons just use Lightning Breath. I mean, you can still use that on her, but once you got the Refine, she became more of a supportive unit, being able to buff everyone up. So I really like that. And you know, with her high HP, she could use even Pulse Tie, Infantry Pulse. So that was cool. So that's why I built Faye as a supportive dragon. So that was really nice. And I definitely use her a lot. Not anymore, but I used to use her a lot back in the day. Number 18 is Klein, who I completed on April 4, 2020. He is a legend, man. Klein is so good back in the day. If you guys remember the Fallen Takumi map, the map that terrorized everybody, that everyone had trouble on, Klein was the main reason I was able to complete that, because you know, he was the fast lower rarity archer with a brave bow, because Gordon was slow, so he couldn't quad, but Klein could because he had good speed and you could use life and death and desperation, and he was able to quad people with his desperation. It was just super fun. I used him with PA Azura back in the day to clear that damned Fallen Takumi map. So Klein was the real MVP, so I have a lot of good memories using him because he just came in clutch to clear some of the hardest content at the time. So that's Klein. Shoutouts to him. Hope he gets a Resplendent. Number 19 is going to be Bowie, May's beloved. I completed him on April 14, 2020. So similar to Merrick, he was a bulky green mage and he can use close counter, but then he got the Refine that gave him close counter, or at least most of close counter, because he can't counterattack against dragons because he's scared of dragons. So that was a cool reference. But yeah, Inscribed Tome is not that great anymore. You definitely want to give him Arcane Green Tome, but I haven't done that because, you know, again, he's not my most favorite. There's certain characters I'm just going to give more bias to, obviously, but maybe one day I'll update his build if he gets resplendent or something. But sturdy stance, quick repulse will have to do for now. I guess he can pick off certain weaker melee threats or like some colorless units or something. But yeah, that's Bowie. Hope he gets something next year. And then number 20, the last of this batch, is Young Marth, the formerly best Marth at the time, you know, before his legendary version got a refine and before Brave Marth came on the scene. Young Marth was the best Marth by a mile, because that Archanea banner, 2020 FE was a lot of good memories for me. That was just such a blissful time because of that Archanea banner, and I feel like I had so much fun in the game in general that year. So when that banner dropped, it was super exciting. I think he was the first 4-star seasonal demote, so that was also really hype. And when I built him, it was like the first time in FE where I felt really overpowered because he was so strong, you know, with his rapier weapon, being able to loop Hero's Blood with Special Spiral and have Vantage at the same time. That was super sick. And 2020 is when I first started to really, I think that's when I first started posting Marth Emblem clears, or at least my first Marth Emblem clear had Young Marth in it. He was the carry. So yeah, just have a lot of good memories with him. I have different builds for him. He did get the recent weapon refine. I made a video talking about that, and he's definitely improved. You know, but at the end of the day, he's pretty much just the worst version of his Brave version, which makes sense because he's still a baby. But yeah, Young Marth, I have a lot of great memories with him because he was just so good. And this build was the build I used for one of my first Marth Emblem clears before, you know, the refine and whatnot. But he had a good amount of variety. I even used Bellringer to help him with healing as a, you know, an Omni Tank build. So yeah, that is Young Marth. A lot of great memories with him, and he's still pretty good now. I do use him from time to time, but most of the time I'll just use Brave Marth over him. But yep, that's Young Marth, who I completed on April 27, 2020. Alright, so here are the next 20, number 21 through 40, starting off with Eliwood. So I built him because, you know, Blazing Durandal at the time was an amazing weapon refine, and, you know, him sharing it with Brave Roy was crazy. That fact that a lower rarity unit can have access to this weapon refine was really good. So Eliwood was one of the most popular merge projects after he got access to this, and I used to use him even in Aether Raid's defense for a little bit because he was popular back then with his you know, ability to have steady impact in the refine. And it's still pretty decent, you know. It's obviously hasn't aged well, and it's better, there's better weapons, but you know, it's still not terrible compared to some of the older weapon refines. So Eliwood, you also got a nice resplendent. So yeah, that's Eliwood at number 21. Number 22 is my boy Astrum. I was extremely hyped when he revealed and was released because Astrum is a super cool character. You know, his signature line heads will roll, and you know, even though Midia wasn't here, and Midia still isn't here, Astrum was a super cool GHB for that Archanea banner in 2019, and he was an instant Grail project for me. So he's number 4 on the Grail projects, and I completed him on May 23 of 2020. He did get the refine, so, you know, it's not the greatest refine. It doesn't have any other effects besides like extra stats pretty much and being able to support his allies. So in that aspect, he's pretty much like a Brave Marth for free to play, because he can buff everyone up just like Brave Marth and also have bonus Doubler 4. But yeah, other than that, his weapon refine doesn't really bring much, but it's still strong if you do, you know, support him with like no follow-up support or whatnot. I should update his build at some point, but I just haven't, because I obviously have way better sword inventories that I have better skills for and just have invested more in or better. But Astrum's pretty good as a Grail unit, honestly. So that's him at number 22. Number 23 is Athena, another sword inventory. I'm also waiting for her Resplendent. Her refine at the time was pretty cool because it had Desperation built in, and you can use stuff like Wrath in the B slot or other B slots. But yeah, this build is very budget. It's okay, I guess. But yeah, I'm waiting for that Resplendent because I think she definitely needs it, and I completed her on June 15th of 2020. Number 24 is Drog. I used to have this Encounter Special Fighter on him back when before save skills existed, but now I've just made him a near saver with close defense 4. I should give him Arcane, the Arcane weapon that Rearmed Lif has. I should give that to him. But Stalwart Sword is still pretty good. Being able to neutralize penalties is always good, and you know, the attack debuff. So it's a decent refine, I guess. It's kind of like a better version of Carrot Cudgel, kind of, or a side grade, I guess. So that's the Druggernaut at number 24, who I completed on July 11th, 2020. Number 25 is my boy Groom Marth, my 5th Grail project, who I completed on July 23, 2020. This was the first Marth alt. So I remember when this finally happened, when this finally was revealed, and I don't even remember what year, but it was a long time before Marth actually got an alt. And when the Groom version released, I was so excited along with other Marth fans, because like finally, because all the other lords were getting their alts except for Marth. So yeah, Groom Marth was extremely hype, and I still use him in my videos. You guys see him on Marth Emblem Clears. He's super fun to use. I'm gonna give him Arcane Threema eventually. But yeah, he's my 5th Grail project at number 25. And number 26 is Norn. Norn, I completed on July 28, 2020. Her refine was pretty good. I'd say there's better bow units in the lower rarity pool, but her refine's good defensively, you know, and she was one of the prime users of Spendthrift bow back when that bow was the most coveted bow, and I gave that to her as well, like everyone else did. But you know, her refine is better now, and I gave her attack speed finish, and she was pretty fun to use. She's fun to use sometimes. I used her for arena season, but yeah, I don't really find that much use for her. But Norn's cool, she's great. So that's number 26. Number 27 is my pride and joy, my girl once again, Summer Lind, who I completed on August 3, 2020. So I have a crazy history with her because she color shares with Summer Takumi, and you know, it took me basically 3 summers to plus 10 her because she released in 2018. So I didn't plus 10 her then, obviously, because I didn't expect her summer ult to drop. You know, when that happened, I was like losing my shit. But I didn't have enough orbs, so then I was saving up for the next summer. Still didn't have good luck. I got more Takumis, and then finally in 2020, I was able to get really lucky and get the last, I think, 7 or 8 copies, which was crazy because I could have easily got way more Takumis, but Lind came through and she showed up. So I gave her Arcane Void. This build is not the greatest. I want to give her Remote Sparrow, but I don't have any fodder for it, unfortunately, right now. So attack speed catch will do. But yeah, I gave her Arcane Void. She's my girl. The first ult for Lind, which I never expected her to get. And like, you know, if you asked me from the beginning of FEH if May or Lind would get more ults, I would say May, but Lind got way more, which I'm not complaining about. It's just surprising to look back at it. But yeah, that's my girl Summer Lind at number 27. Number 28 is my boy Barst. I love his art. It's really good. I mean, Wada Sachiko is one of the best artists, and you know, Reposition Man is not a bad unit, especially when he got the Refine at the time, you know, having Wrath built in and you know, Fury. So that was really cool, and just stacking Fury with it and double Wrath is a lot of fun. Even to this day, double Wrath is fun. So I completed Barst on September 8, 2020. Clarice is the next one, my 6th girl project, who I completed on September 25. Yeah, September 25, 2020. You know, her refine at the time was pretty good because you have the fire sip effect, but unfortunately it's tied to the support partner. But I still use this because as long as I have my support partner, and right now it's Ninian because I pair it with the Dancer, you know, it's pretty fun because Savage Blow, Poison Strike, Savage Blow is basically a ton of true damage for free, and this was before, you know, Legendary Camilla was a thing, before she can do it. So I use Clarice for like Arena Assault to just chip down really, really bulky tanks. For, you know, when I couldn't take them down, Clarice was there to just chip them because you do a ton of damage. So Clarice is fun to use, and I hope she gets a Resplendent one day. So that is Clarice at number 29. Number 30 is Zane, Halloween Zane to be exact. This is how Zane made his debut in FEH, and I was one of the few crazy people to actually plus 10 him because, you know, it was technically a waste of orbs because you don't have to actually plus 10 him to make use of him, because he's one of the most unique units in FEH, being able to copy people's stats, and you know, works similarly to his personality and how he works in the games where he just copies that unit. So Joker's Wild is really cool in that aspect, but I plus 10 him because he's one of my favorite Archanea characters, and I was waiting for him for a long time, so I just plus 10 him. And the only stat that matters to him pretty much is HP, because he doesn't copy their HP, so he can stack a bunch of HP. And, you know, Sudden Panic there for support, Infantry Pulse. So, I mean, you can definitely update him with, like, Magical No Follow-Up if you want to make him offensive. But for me, he's kind of there to just copy stats, obviously, and just kind of support. So that's what I made him. But I might update him someday. And who knows, he could get a refined sometime down the line. So that's Halloween Zane, who I completed on October 12, 2020 for number 30. Number 31 is Sophia. Just like American Bowie, she's one of the bulkier mages, so she's able to run close counter, which I gave to her. But now I just use this build, which doesn't see much use, honestly, but Triangle Depth 3, I guess, to help against, you know, certain green threats, I guess. And Eternal Tome was good at the time, you know, having Bracing Stance built in with Raven Tome. So yeah, I could update this with like Mirror Stance 3 or something, Quicker Post 2, Attack Smoke 3. Yeah, just a very budget build for Sophia, but I just built her because I like Sophia, I like the Resplendent, and, you know, she's pretty unique when it comes to being a red mage in the lower rarity. So that is Sophia, who I completed on November 11, 2020. Number 32 is my boy Winter Marth. I made a summoning video for him way back in the day. That was one of my first summoning videos, so looking back, if I can't watch it again because I was kind of cringe back then. Still kind of am, but you know, that was my first time really posting summoning videos, and I did post my summons for Winter Marth, and I completed him on Christmas, December 25 of 2020. You know, you guys see my videos all the time. I've showcased him before. He is one of the best armor units in the game, the best bow armor right now, and yeah, he's just helped me so much in all the competitive modes. You guys have seen it, my summer duels runs, Aether Raids videos, arena videos, my Marthimum clears. He is the truth. And Tagristan, I'm really happy that this refined, you know, was just so good. Like when it first revealed, I was like, this refine is okay. I didn't think it was that crazy, but then I actually used it and I was like, yo, this guy has something crazy with his refine. And it's funny because, you know, when he first came out, he was originally supposed to be a player phase, you know, armor, which is still rare. I mean, it's still rare to this day to have a player phase armor, I guess. But you know, with Daring Fighter, but now they made him an enemy phase monster, being able to advantage sweep. So yeah, Winter Marth, one of my best units, and I pretty much always use him every time I play Fae. So yeah, Winter Marth's my pride and joy, one of my pride and joys, and I completed him for number 32 on Christmas. And you know, when he dropped, it was such a random alt, I feel like, because I didn't expect it when Winter Marth dropped, but thankfully at the time I had orbs saved. I had like 500, so I was able to get him to +5, and then the next year I was able to finish the merges. So that's Winter Marth. Number 33 is Winter Hilda, who I completed the next day on December 26th of 2020, because she had her banner, and I love Hilda. She's one of my favorite Three Houses characters, and I did update her build. It used to be just like this encounter back in the day, but recently I gave her Kestrel Stance, Special Fighter 4, geez, and Stout Lance. I should give her like Arcane Lumen or something, but I don't have that right now. But yeah, maybe I'll give her something else in the future. But this build goes pretty hard. I use her in my Aether Raids defense sometimes. That's why she has Dark Blessing. So that's Winter Hilda. Probably my favorite Hilda alt, honestly. So yeah, that's number 33. Winter Hilda. Number 34 is Young Minerva, who is going to be getting a refined eventually, or soon, next year I think. So that's exciting. She was one of the better Grail projects, and I used her a lot. But she's fallen off, obviously. Dragoon Shield. That'd be cool if it gets a remix, but it's probably not. But yeah, I gave her Wyvern Flight back when this skill was actually relevant, but now there's not even a tier 4 version yet. But Dragoon Axe, I'm looking forward to what kind of effects this will give, because she's a really solid Grail unit. So, and one of the few Grail units that has a PRF skill, so that was awesome. And she was my 7th Grail project, who I completed on January 26, 2021. Number 35 is another Grail project, being Mass Marth, my 8th one, who I completed on February 5, 2021. And the reason I completed Mass Marth is because she's one of the cheapest Grail projects you can ever invest in, as long as you have the copies that were revealed, or not revealed, that were given out in the past. So I think it only cost me like 250 grails to finish her, because there were so many copies given out of Mass Marth through Tempest Trials and stuff that I just had all the merges, and I was like, you know what, I'll just finish her merges and +10 her, because why not? And having another Falchion user is never bad in my book. So yeah, this is just an Omni Tank build, even though it doesn't really hold up that well. I use it sometimes. I mean, Close Call 3, this encounter, Sealed Falchion was a pretty good refine for the time. And yeah, so that is Mass Marth. Another one for the Marth emblem, I suppose. And then number 36 is Lelina, an offensive mage compared to Sophia, also from Binding Blade. Number 36 on February 19, 2021, as I completed her. I just built her because 4 Blades was fun. Having Chill Res and Death Blow, and just stacking Death Blow was a lot of fun. And Axe Breaker, very budget. I mean, breaker skills are like the first budget skills, because nobody uses them anymore because no follow-up is so common. But I guess if they don't have no follow-up, you can still use breaker skills. But yeah, this is just a very budget Lelina build, and I've always liked her, so that's Lelina. Number 37 is Lena. Speaking of Lenas, we have her at number 37, March 3, 2021. I completed her, and unlike Maria, she was actually more offensively. I made her more offensive, you know, attack speed, push, Witchy Wand, which helps for Rucker battles and Rucker sieges, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, just like with Maria, I don't really use healers that much, but I just built her because it's Lena. I like her a lot, so that's her. Number 38 is Lara Shell, hilarious character, one of the most infamous Fire Emblem characters, you know, with her antics from Sacred Stones, and I always liked her, so I built her after her refine. And even though the refine wasn't the best, I just went all in and gave her some premium skills, gave her solo 4, low speed res, back when solos were actually pretty good. But yeah, that's Lara Shell, who I completed on March 15th of 2021. Number 39 is Spring Minerva. I was so excited when this alt dropped, because she looks gorgeous, and it's Minerva, you know, one of my favorite Archanea characters. And when they dropped all the spring versions for the White Wings, you know, Minerva was the only one that was a demote, so I had to +10 her. And I did update her build recently. Instead of Springy Lance, she has Arcane Lumen, attack speed catch, speed smoke, so she's very strong, one of my better Lance Cavaliers, so I'm proud of her. And I completed her March 31st of 2021. Number 40 is Soth. So Soth, I built him because I like this refined Pesh Cats. It's pretty cool because it had Pulse Smoke built in, which I always like Pulse Smoke, so that was really unique. And I gave him Swift Sparrow 3, Desperation, you know, standard kind of budget build, I guess. I mean, Swift Sparrow 3 isn't really budget, but you know, there's better skills now, but I built him a while ago. But yeah, that's Soth, who I completed on June 8th, 2021. Okay, so the next 20, starting with number 41, Gordon. So Gordon, I plus 10'd on July 8th of 2021, and I kind of gave him a premium build, sort of, with Heavy Blade 4, even though that's a outdated tier 4 skill at this point. But yeah, low attack defense with Renowned Bow. It's a pretty good refine, I guess, for him because he just wants a nuke. And he's kind of the opposite of Klein, where he's slow and bulky. So yeah, but even though it's not the best archer, obviously, he does have a nice Resplendent, and he does hit hard when he needs to against certain flyers and stuff. So that's Gordon. I hope his little brother Ryan gets into the game sometime soon. Number 42 is Black Knight, one of the first Grail projects and Grail units. But he was my number 9. He was my 9th Grail project, and I completed him August 6th of 2021. And he's not the most optimized unit right now. As you can see, the build isn't completely for near saving because he does have the DC weapon, but it's still pretty good. It does his job. You know, nuking with Black Luna is pretty fun, and even though he's one of the first Grail units, he's still pretty strong if you do invest into him. So I just built Black Knight because he's sick, and I needed a near save tank. So yeah, Black Knight does the job. Number 43 is Sedith. I've always liked Sedith, and I built him because he does have a pretty decent PRF giving support. And I built him and finished him on August 12th of 2021. So this build is just pretty budget, just drive attack for some more support and Fury Desperation. So there's Sedith. Number 44 is Pirate Vika. I've always liked Vika. I loved her design. She's one of my favorite Lagoos, and when she got the Pirate alt, I had to plus 10 her, and she was the seasonal demon on that banner. So I completed her September 2 of 2021, and this build is not the greatest. Definitely Catch is better, or Clash, you know, because Catch synergizes well with her Sabotage weapon and Sabotage attack, but this is what I've just been rocking with. So hopefully she gets a good refine whenever that happens. So that's Pirate Vika, number 44, and number 45 is the GOAT Brave Marth. So yeah, this plus 10, you know, means a lot more compared to the other ones because I was campaigning for Brave Marth to win Choose Your Legends for so long, and he finally won it in 2021, and I saved up enough orbs to plus 10 him on September 5th of 2021. And you know, Brave Marth is definitely the most versatile Marth and the most well-rounded one out of all his versions right now, and arguably the best one. So yeah, Brave Marth's just amazing. You guys know, you've seen his power. I've shown him in all my videos, my arena videos, my Marthum clears, you know, summer duels. So yeah, Brave Marth's just amazing, and I'm glad that even though he's not the best sword of entry in the game, he is one of the best. And you know, the vantage sweeping is just so good. Being able to do it without having to rely on speed checks is amazing. So yeah, that's Brave Marth at number 45. Number 46 is Tailtooth, one of my other favorite mages, definitely my top 5. You know, in terms of Jugdraw characters, there isn't that many I really like super duper like, but Tailtooth's up there. I completed her September 10 of 2021. Her refine is, I guess, still somewhat decent. It has Wrath built in, which is cool for a tome, but not the best weapon, obviously, not the best blue tome. But so Spirit Desperation Times Pulse is the build for her. So there's Tailtooth. I completed her September 10th of 2021. Number 47 is Cecilia, who I completed September 11 of 2021. You know, she was a pretty good, and still kind of is, a decent anti-meta unit, being able to kill colorless foes and also have effectiveness against flying foes, so that's pretty cool. And she does pretty much have the best triangle depth weapon refine, so that's why I built her, and I do like Cecilia. So I gave her attack defense push and low tech res from Valentine's Lift, so that's the build for her, and she got a nice Resplendent. So that's Cecilia. Next up is Male Morgan, that I completed on October 11th of 2021. He is, you know, I like Morgan. I definitely like Morgan more than Kana when it comes to the Avatar's Children, and he got a pretty decent Resplendent, and he was again another mage I gave close counter to, even though he doesn't use it the best because he does have 29 defense, as you can see. But Grimace Truth can give him a lot of stats, and I like the refine, so I just gave him close foil, even though I should probably give him something else. But this is the build I have for him, so it's kind of decent, I guess. So there's Male Morgan. Number 49 is Kagero, who I completed on November 7th of 2021. I've always liked Kagero ever since I played Fate. She's more chill. She's a cool ninja, you know, compared to the rest of the Fates cast. And Kagero, you know, she did come with Poison Dagger, which is really cool because it has effectiveness against infantry foes, which is very rare. So I kind of just kept that dagger. I didn't even refine her Kagero's dart. I just stuck with Poison Dagger, and even though it's not very good anymore, it's still the fact that she has 56 attack with Life and Death and the dagger is pretty impressive. So yeah, the build's Life and Death Desperation. I don't use her at all pretty much, but maybe I'll update her build someday. But yeah, that's Kagero at number 49, and now we're halfway there at number 50 with Legendary Marth. So Legendary Marth, I'm really glad that he was number 50. It's kind of poetic. He released in 2018, and I was so excited when Legendary Mars released, but I wasn't able to plus 10 him until 3 years later. So when I finally did on his remix banner, when he was sharing colors with I think Fallen Ike, I finally got enough copies, and yeah, he is one of the best Mars, even though he's not as good as he used to be. You know, he doesn't have certain effects that other sword infantries have now. He's still really good, and he's the original stat ball king, you know, being able to go out of control when you debuff him and have bonus stubber in his weapon. But yeah, Exalted Falchion still a really good refine. Binding Shield has its use, and attack speed unity, you know, he was the original unity stacking guy, so you know, an amazing design as well. Legendary Mars really beautifully drawn. So that is number 50, who I completed Legendary Mars on November 18 of 2021. Number 51 is Naui, or Noe, however you say her name. I'm not a fan of her character at all, but I just built her because I built all the other dragons of different colors in the regular pool, you know, Fae and Adult Tiki, so I figured I'll just build Naui, and I like to refine because it has DC built in, even though it's kind of trash now because it slows your special trigger, which is never good. So it kept the lightning breath effect, but you know, DC I guess is decent. But yeah, I gave her solo 4, no follow, speed spoke 4, so kind of a, you know, not the greatest build, but at the time it was okay. So that is Naui. For number 51 that I completed on January 3, 2022. My 10th Grail project is Plegian Chris, and number 52, who I completed on January 8th, 2022. You know, this was Chris's first alt, and we're still waiting for female Chris's first alt, which I'm hoping happens sometime soon. But yeah, male Chris definitely killed it with this alt. He was a really good offensive Axe Cavalier. And this year, or the year that he released, they gave us a bunch of Axe Cavaliers after never giving us any for like a super long time, so it was super funny. But yeah, this build, Plegian Axe, making use of the solo, so I just gave him solo 4 to synergize with his weapon, and low attack speed, attack smoke, and threat and attack defense. I can definitely give him a better axe, but I don't use him very much compared to, you know, Gru Marth, but he is pretty nice as a Grill project. So that's number 52, Plegian Chris. Next is Summer Norn, so we have the two Archanea characters, the two Archanea village buddies. So Summer Norn was my 11th Grill project, who I completed on January 11th, 2022. I tried to make her to a DC, you know, speed, typical speed tank, but I don't think it's that good. I mean, Flowing Lance is okay. You have the ability to stop buffs, but definitely better lances out there. I don't really invest into her too much, but I just built her because the alt is adorable and it's Norn, so yeah, that's her. So number 54 is going to be Legion. Or sorry, not Legion, Legault. What am I saying? Legault, who I completed on February 11th, 2022. I did like his refine. I've always liked Legault. He was one of the cool Black Fang members, you know, the Hurricane, and I like that his refine had damage reduction built into it, and also, you know, the Broadleaf fan, or whatever the effect is, that grants bonus to your attack, depending on, yeah, it's kind of the opposite of Broadleaf fan, where you grant bonus to your attack equal to the total bonuses on the foe. So you have to kind of depend on them being buffed, but still can be pretty strong. And I gave him Flashing Blade 4, no follow-up, times pulse, so I use him from time to time. He's pretty strong in his own right. So that is Legault. Number 55 is Salif, who I built because I just said why not. I like Divine Turfing. I gave him this encounter, no follow-up. Even though he's not the fastest sword infantry, he's one of the slower ones. He's still pretty bulky, and that's the idea with this build, I guess. I don't use him, but I did build him because I like to refine, and Salif's cool. So I completed him March 10th of 2022. Number 56 is Reinhardt. So Reinhardt's a unit I didn't want to build or plus 10 because everybody used him, and I was kind of tired of the memes, but I figured, you know, that's kind of a stupid reason. I'll just build him because it's always good to have a Reinhardt, because even to this day, despite you know, Dire Thunder being outdated, he still takes out units that he needs to, you know, frail units that can't take hits. So you know, I use him in Arena Assault here and there to pick off like Legendary Alms, for example, or Legendary you know, just frailer offensive threats that Reinhardt can take out with his good old trusty Dire Thunder. So there's his build. I gave him attack defense push, low attack res from another Valentine's Lift. So that is number 56. Number 57 is Tethys, who I completed on April 8th, 2022. One of my favorite dancers. I love her design. She's a great character. And you know, the build here is just pretty budget, pretty basic. Tamari with res stacking with Fury, and just attack tactic and Wings of Mercy to support. Standard dancer build that I didn't really invest too much in, but I just wanted a plus 10er. So there's Tethys. Next is Young Ines for my 12th Grail project, and I completed him April 21st, 2022. I was kind of late to the party. I built him after everyone started building him, like probably a year or so, maybe after he released. But he's still good, even though he's a bit outdated. For at one point, he was definitely a top 5 bow infantry unit because he was able to pierce through damage reduction without having to run Deadeye, so that's really cool and still pretty unique, I guess. So he'll get a refine sometime down the line. I can't wait till that, but Yeah, Young Inez, I just gave him a standard, I guess, offensive bow build with no follow-up and times pulse. So that is Young Inez. Number 59 is Donnie, good old Donald. I built him because Hume Lance was cool and there wasn't really many like offensive player phase oriented Lance infantry units, so I just wanted to build him, and I always liked Donald. In my opinion, he's the best villager character out of the 3DS games, so that's why I gave him Death Blow 4, low attack defense from a Dimitri, times pulse 3. Hume Lance is, you know, he can, just like Reinhardt, he can pick off some units here and there that are not very defensive. So yeah, that is Donald. And then number 60 is Python. So Python is a fan favorite from Shadows of Valentia. It's unfortunate that Snide Bow is not a very good refine, but I just refined it anyway. Because unfortunately, as you can see, he is Formud, but I didn't get a very good bow for him. I think the best one I got was Fire Sweep, which is not very good. So I just refined Snide Bow, Hetsu Sparrow, and Attack Defense Near Trace, and Attack Defense Menace from the Hall of Form. So I don't use him very much, but he can still, I guess, get some kills here and there as a Green Bow Cavalier. I also thought about building Wrath, who I might plus 10 someday, but yeah, Python is my first Green Bow Cavalier at plus 10. So that is number 60. Who I completed on May 9th, 2022. I don't know if I said Donald's date. I completed him May 1st of 2022. So yeah. All right, moving right along here with number 61 through 80, starting off with Garnef. So Garnef is my 13th Grail unit, and it was a little weird and felt wrong kind of to build him because of what he did to Lind, but I just built him because he is one of the main Archanea villains, and I did like his weapon, Imhulu, and his weapon Refine, you know, being able to stop counterattacks and also damage reduction, which is kind of weird because they can't counterattack anyway, so I guess it's good for no counter disrupt. But yeah, I just built him because why the heck not. Gave him solo 4, no follow-up, kind of a budget slash premium build, I guess. I mean, you'll notice with a lot of these builds, I mean, you probably did notice at this point that a lot of them just have a solo 4. I guess I had a lot of fodder of that at the time, and I didn't have anything better, so that's what I rocked with for Garnef. So I finished him May 21st of 2022 for my 13th Grail unit. Next is Legendary Sheeta, one of my units in my arena core, and I did make so many videos for her. And unlike her husband, it only took like a year to plus 10 her, so I got very, very lucky compared to Legendary Marth, so thank goodness. But yeah, this build right now is just what I use in arena minus the seal, and she's very, very fun to use. Of course, you've seen her in my videos. I've used her in summer duels, Aether raids, you name it. So she is one of my most used units, and you know, I hope one day she gets a good remix and refine, because she's not the best legendary right now, but that's going to be a while from now. So yeah, that's Legendary Sheeta. He's really fun to use, and has an amazing design, and also has the floofy thing just like her husband does, the little fluffy stuff on their neck. So yeah, that's number 62. Number 63 is Wendy, who I completed on June 3rd, 2022. Wendy, or Gwendolyn, I've always known her as Wendy because I played the Binding Blade translation before Faye. And Wendy is a pink-haired girl, so I've always had a soft spot for pink-haired girls, like I mentioned, and I just built her because she does have a pretty decent refine, at least at the time, and you know, she could be a solid near safe tank. So I hope she gets a resplendent one day. But yeah, that's Wendy. And we're staying in Binding Blade. Next up is Thea, and I completed her June 9th, 2022 for number 64. Icy Maltet was a pretty baller refine when it came out because it has things that flyers can't get, like bonus doubler. So that's pretty cool, and makes her a pretty good defensive tank as well. You can even make her an omni tank, so she's pretty versatile with that weapon. I gave her attack defense unity and dual close as a budget kind of low skills, because you know, flyers can't even get low skills, and attack speed Ryan. So there is Thea. Next up is Effie. Effie being one of the OG armors that a lot of people built, and this build's a little bit weird. I mean, I guess it's not that weird, but Deathblow 4, Bolt Fighter, Brave Lance, I didn't give her really anything premium too much because, you know, well, the main reason I plus 10 her is because I had her at like plus 5 already for like the longest time, for like years. I just never finished her merge project, so I figured let me just finish the merges, and I did, and gave her this build. So I guess it works sometimes, but as an armor it's kind of hard to initiate. But yeah, that's Effie, who I completed on June 21st, 2022. And number 66 is Summer Sheeta. Yeah, this was a hell of a story. If you guys saw my summoning video on how I plus 10 her, yeah, that was a roller coaster. And I've been playing since day one, so I've had a lot of roller coaster rides in this game, but this one was definitely the most up and down, because I spent 700 to 800 orbs on her banner that I saved up and didn't get a single copy. But then the next 700 I was able to get like 5 or 6, or I don't even remember how many copies I needed to plus 10 her, but it just turned around in an insane way, and I got like, I had 2 circles of 2 Summer Sheeta. So like, just watch the video that I that I made about it. I can't make this stuff up. So yeah, my luck turned around like crazy and I was able to finish her, so I was super thankful for that because she is a pretty fun unit and very strong, and it's Cheetah, so I love her in this summer version, and Plumeria as well. So I gave her no quarter because that's a new special that she can use, and I think it's good for her because even though she does have the effective damage against a lot of foes, there is damage reduction, so no quarter can help. Just unfortunately, it's not the easiest thing to trigger because she doesn't have -1 cooldown, unfortunately, but I am looking forward to when she gets a refine sometime down the line. And this build is just for Arena that you can see right now, but I do have a lot of other builds for her. So yeah, that is Summer Cheetah, who I completed on July 13th, 2022. Number 67 is Roshea, who I completed on July 26th, 2022. And this build was pretty unique, or at least I haven't seen anyone have this kind of build, so I kind of cooked here, I guess. But yeah, Carrot Tip Spear is a pretty cool weapon because it gives you true damage depending on the total attack defense debuffs on the foe, and attack defense menace does that. So basically try to make him speedy with a lot of attack and defense stacking. So Roshea is pretty fun in this build, so I kind of try to make him different compared to the other Lance Cavaliers I have. So that's Roshea. Next is his buddy Violin, so we're staying in the Wolf Guard here. The iconic meme, you know, Violin's a big meme character, but he's great. And Seahorse Axe was the best axe for a while, or at least one of the best axes before Arcane Axe was a thing, so I gave that to him. Attack defense near trace, attack defense unity with attack smoke forward to prevent follow-ups, so he's pretty fun to use here and there. So there is Violin for number 68. Number 69 is Kath. I've always liked her. The Binding Blade Thieves are pretty cool, and I didn't have a green dagger at the time, so I decided to build her up. I completed her on September 8th, 2022, and Courtly Fan, Windsweep, Swift Sparrow. This is pretty much a standard build for any kind of fast offensive dagger unit. I use this build a lot on my Summer Lind, so kind of the same idea with Kath here. So there she is. Number 70 is Orochi. So Orochi has high attack, high res, and I've always liked her from Fates, so I just built her up. She does have a decent PRF, being able to spread panic, so it's better than nothing, I guess. And attack res solo, another solo skill, and a low attack res, joint drive res, just stacking a bunch of resistance and hitting hard as possible. So there's Orochi, who I completed on September 23. Next is Halloween Naga, who I completed on October 8th, 2022, and I made a summoning video for her when she was the seasonal demote, and it was pretty fun. And she's one of the most fun units that I've had the privilege to use, I guess, because she's a flying dragon, and I don't really have any of those units, and she's pretty bulky, and she can be decently fast and hit pretty hard, have a lot of resistance. So I have a lot of different builds for her. So yeah, these are some of the builds. But yeah, I love this alt for Naga, so that's why I plus 10 her, and she was number 71. Number 72 is Sedgar, the Sed guy, you know, following up the Wolf Guard. It's sad because I don't have Wolf at plus 10 because I never was able to save ores for him, but maybe someday. But yeah, Sedgar here to complete 3/4 of the Wolf Guard, or I guess 3/5 of it. So yeah, this build: Whitecap Bow, Moon Bow, attack speed push, slow speed defense, speed smoke 3, and rouse speed defense seal. I use him here and there, but yeah, Sedgar, he's pretty fun to use. But yeah, hopefully he gets a good refine sometime down the line. Next up is Cynthia, one of my favorite Awakening kids, at number 73. Sedgar was 14th Grail unit, and Cynthia was number 15. So I completed Sedgar November 3, I don't think I mentioned it, November 3, 2022, and I completed Cynthia November 11, 2022. And yeah, like I said, she was one of my favorite Awakening kids, one of my best units, and I decided to build her finally because Lance of Heroics is a really cool refine, and you know, as a Marth main and a Marth enthusiast and a legendary Marth user, you know, Unity effects are my kind of thing. So she came with Unity, and it's perfect with her character, you know, being a superhero, getting stronger when she gets attacked and getting debuffs. So I liked that they did that, and also having Wings of Mercy 4 basically in her refine. So yeah, Lance of Heroics is really sick. Gave her flow refresh, attack defense man. It's not the most optimal build, but it works. So there is Cynthia for number 73. Number 74 is another Lance Flyer, Marcia. I've always loved her. She's drawn by Kipu, so I'm biased in that aspect because Kipu drew 2 Lins. And Marcia she's hilarious. I've always liked her. So I gave her Ninja Naginata, Dive Bombs with Sparrow 3, Attack Speed Menace, and Odd Tempest. So it was a pretty fun build to just nuke some things here and there. So there's Marcia, who I completed on January 2 of 2023. Number 75 is the alt that I did not expect, but I guess I should have, and it is Kadean Lin. So yeah, I still can't believe this alt is real, honestly. I've talked about it in videos before and I reacted to it, obviously, but Kadean Lin is absolutely gorgeous, and she's so top tier, and like this harmonic pairing with Sarah makes a lot of sense, and I kind of wish I thought of this idea, because when it happened I was like, wow, it actually makes a lot of sense why they're together if you know what they represent and what they both have and what they both lost. So Lind is really cool here, and yeah, I was just through the roof when this alt dropped. I can't believe it happened. I completed her January 16th of 2023, and this is the one character I've spent the most money for. So like I said at the beginning, I'm not free to play. I do Dolphin sometimes for my favorites, but only if they're my absolute favorites, and Lind is one of those. So her build has changed over time. I used to have Remote Sparrow all the time, but now Flared Sparrow does help with the Divine Vein Flame. I mean, I'll use Remote sometimes here and there, but Desperation 4 is the B slot I've been using as of late, so that's really fun. Ruptured Sky, I want to give her Incite Attack Speed, but I don't have that right now, but Defense Red Smoke is still pretty fun to use and pretty good. So yeah, you guys have seen her in my videos. I've used her in Summoner Duels. She's really good for being able to spread the no follow-up support, and also being able to let people cheat and move across terrain like it's nothing. So I love her for that, and yeah, that Canadian banner was just really special for me. So Canadian Lind at number 75, who I completed on January 16th of 2023. Number 76 is Paula. So yeah, surprisingly, you might be thinking, wow, you didn't plus 10 the White Wings earlier. Yeah, I was kind of surprised myself, but I figured I might as well. If I'm going to 100, I might as well plus 10 all the White Wings, because I do like them all, even though Katria is my favorite. So I built Paula, gave her Rain Sword, Rain Sword, Surge Sparrow. Jeez, say that 3 times fast. But yeah, reposition, Moonbow, Dual Close, very budget build, as you can tell. Threat and speed defense, so I don't really use her that much, but I just wanted to build her, and she got a nice Resplendent. So that is Elder Sister Paula, who I completed on January 22, 2023. I apologize if I'm like stuttering. I'm just trying to talk over this and not take too long, even though this video is already extremely long, because this is 100 plus 10, so that's a lot of units. But yeah, number 77 is Female Corrin. I built her because her Resplendent is really nice, and it's another dragon that I hadn't built in the normal pool alongside Faye, Adultiki, and Naui. So I figured, let's build Corrin, give her defense Res Menace because her weapon refine comes with attack speed menace, so that kind of synergizes well. And yeah, I use her here and there sometimes to take out some red threats. So there is Female Corrin, who I completed on January 26th, 2023. Next is another Grail unit, and that is sorry, actually I think it's okay, I think I mixed them up. Rutger's next, not 3 for card. So number 78 is Rutger, who's my 16th Grail unit, who I completed on January 28th, 2023. And his Refine is pretty awesome. It's very good, giving him damage reduction and special charges. So, and Rutger's always been one of my favorite Navarre archetypes when I played Binding Blade. He's pretty much a carry in that game. Without him, I don't think I would have been able to beat the first 2 chapters. So Rutger's awesome, Critger. And yeah, that's pretty much his build right now. It's not the best. I mean, Distant Pressure, I guess, is alright, but I also have other ace skills on him. But yeah, that's Rutger for number 78. Number 79 is my 17th Grail unit, Thief Ricard. So when he dropped, I definitely didn't expect Ricard to get into Fae as a, you know, on the Mask banner, on that Thief banner. So it was pretty funny, and Ricard's a pretty funny character in general. So I built him up as my 17th Grail unit, and I completed him on February 18th, 2023. Another unit with attack speed solo 4. I even gave him Flow Guard and Florid Cane. I just kept that sword for now. But yeah, that is Thief Ricard. Number 80 is Est. So Est, to finish off all the White Wings, I completed her on March 17th of 2023. And just refined her old White Wing Spear. Even though it's old, it's still good because it does have armor effectiveness, and you can attack twice in the right situation. So Sparrow 3, Flyer Formation to help with their weapon condition, attack speed bond, because you're probably going to be adjacent to a flyer if I'm going to be using her on a flyer team. So there is Est, baby Est for number 80. Alright, so the last 20, number 81 to 100. Starting off with Kaze, who I completed on March 20, 2023. Just like Kagero, I like him for similar reasons. He's pretty cool and chill, and as a ninja. So I built him because his Refine's pretty nice, even though Arcane Void is pretty much a better version of it. At the time, this was still pretty good, giving him special charges. And, you know, this build that I gave him is pretty fun because it gets Escape Route, which is, you know, perfect for a ninja. Remote Sparrow to help him survive the first encounter, so he can get into desperation range and, you know, hopefully double them. Escape Route to have Kanto, so it's pretty fun. And lethality with Times Pulse and the special charges. So that's Kaze's build, and he's a pretty fun dagger unit to use sometimes. So there he is. Number 82 is Archanea. Now, Altena is an unfortunate case because I did former her, and the skills I got were on her weapon refined. So the penalty neutralization, she already has that in the weapon refined. So Clash 4's penalty neutralization doesn't matter, and she also gets a guaranteed follow up. So the quick riposte 3 also doesn't matter. So a bit unfortunate. I'll probably change it at some point, but for now, this is the build I have for her. So that is Altena for number 82, who I completed on March 22 of 2023. Number 83 is Medius. So Medius was a merge project. I made so many videos for him that I wanted to, complete him because he's a pretty sick mythic, and even to this day, he is one of the better dark mythics because of Vanguard. So I completed him April 3 of 2023, and yeah, I gave him a Scout skill because he can use that to help him just survive better against specials. Assured Rebirth, of course, you can't really get rid of that right now, and then Canto Control. Just a standard kit, pretty much. I just wish that Vanguard stopped all the chip damage that Legendary Camilla and stuff does in Third Sparrow, but unfortunately only stops out of combat damage because those are technically in combat, so sad face, but it's okay. Medius is still awesome. So that's number 83. Number 84 is Bantu. So again, with Archanea Dragons, I decided to build him because his refine it's okay, it's nothing amazing, but it was still, it's kind of like a side grade to Arcane Grima, but I decided to build him because it's Bantu, and I have Tiki, so might as well include her grandpa pretty much. So Mirror Stance, Dragon's Ire 4, so I did give him some premium skills, Pulse Smoke, because I didn't have anything better in the sea. I think I got it from Groom Pent when he was a manual. So that is Bantu, who I completed on April 10th, 2023. Number 85 is Finn, the GOAT, one of my favorite characters. I think Finn's an amazing JoJo character, and yeah, I completed him as my 18th Grail unit on May 10th of 2023, and his loyalty spear weapon is pretty sick because it is a dual phase brave. Even though you're probably not going to be wanting him to take hits in the enemy phase, he can still hit twice, and I like that he has the ability to stop foes' bonuses to attack and defense, and he does get some stats with it, so hitting twice is fun. And I love Gale Force strategies, so I gave him Gale Force, attack, speed, catch, speed, defense, menace, and the trace, so he's pretty fun to use. So there is the legend Finn at number 85. Number 86 is Elise, Marth's sister. She's amazing. I love her art. I love her voice actor. She's just really well made in Fae. And when she came out, sorry if you can hear my dog barking again. When she came out, she was I didn't expect to get, well, I guess I should have, because the colorless pool is hell, so it took me a while to get her to +10, but over the time summoning for Medius, I was able to get enough copies. So I decided to give her Seaside Parasol, which is the best offensive staff right now, and then also Speed Res Menace, Poetic Justice, Attack Speed Ideal. So I killed Elise for Elise and Holy Pressure, so that's the build for her, and she's probably my best healer right now that is from the regular pool. So that is Elise. Number 87 is Valbar. I completed him on June 6th of 2023. I don't remember if I said that for Elise, but I completed her May 20th. Valbar, I decided to build him because his refine's pretty good. It doesn't have everything he wants, but it does give him a lot of damage reduction, special charges, HP, extra stats, so that's pretty good. But he's mainly just there for near saving, so that's what I made him for, because his weapon refine doesn't give him minus attack, or doesn't debuff the foe. If that was the case, then you could make him better against mages, but it's mainly for physical threats. So yeah, Sturdy Sand, Slick Fighter. This is kind of like a Divine Codes build, but it works for him. So there is Valbar. He definitely helps me out in the Shadows of Valentia hero battles. And then next is Brave Byleth. This is my very first accidental +10, because I know that's a phrase that people say. They're like, I didn't ever mean to +10 this unit, but it just happened, and Brave Byleth was the first one for me. So I completed her June 17th, and how it worked was, when the Choose Your Legends for her released, I pulled for her because I thought Speed Preempt would be useful. And then obviously Winter Marth got his refined, which is just a way better version of Speed Preempt. So I was like, oh, well, probably not going to use Speed Preempt anytime soon. And then I ended up getting a ton of copies for her when I was summoning for Medius. So then I was like, you know what, I'll just merge her up. And then eventually I had her like a +6, and then I saved orbs to try and +10 her on one of her reruns. I don't remember which banner it was, but I got pretty lucky and finished her merge project off. Actually, I needed only 3 because the last copy I needed was in the Divine Codes. So it worked out, and I +10 her because why the hell not? And she could get a good weapon refine in the future. So yeah, I completed her June 17th of 2023. So that is Brave Byleth. She's pretty fun to use, but I just have Winter Marth, who's just way better. Divine Pulse is there, but she's not the greatest Brave unit right now. I mean, she does heavily, she can be useful for sure, but I feel like there's just better units that can cover range threats. All right, next is Fallen Delthea at number 89, who I completed as my 19th Grail unit on June 22nd of 2023. I built her because Death is a pretty sick weapon refine, you know, being able to move around like crazy and emulate a witch, so that's pretty fun. And she wasn't Hall of Form, so I was like, you know what, I was going to merge her up anyway, so let me just get premium skills for her. So I gave her attack speed finish, special spiral 4 to help her pierce through DR, times pull, so it's pretty fun. Definitely helps me in the Shadows of Valentia limited hero battles and whatnot. So that is Fallen Delthea. Number 90 is Asker. So I did plus 10 him. I think I made a summon video for him. He's kind of another accidental plus 10, but I wanted to plus 10 him more, I guess, than Brave Byleth, because he was on the Mythics and he often shared with Medius, so I was like, I did get a lot of copies of him, so I figured let's just plus 10 him. And I do like Asker. I think he's one of the better OCs that we had as of late. So yeah, I did eventually plus 10 him, and he is number 90, and I completed him July 2nd of 2023. Number 91 is Tanya. I like her weapon refine. It's one of the better refines in the normal pool as a bow unit, so it's really sick and pretty strong. So I gave her attack res menace because she does have the adaptive damage, I think. Yep. And you know, attack speed ideal, no follow-up, so kind of like another Divine Codes build, but it works. So Tanya's pretty fun. I completed her July 16th of 2023. Number 92 is Summer Ogma. So 2 years after his release in 2021, I decided to just finish the merge project for him, because I wasn't trying to get copies of him necessarily, but I did pull for him. You know, when there was no greens going for Sheeta, I would get blues and, you know, get a 4-star Ogma. So I decided, why the hell not just finish the merges for him, because this Ogma, he's awesome. And before Tamara came out, he was my best Lance Infantry unit. So there he is. I completed him July 19th of 2023. And his build's pretty fun with Arcane Lewin and Bulwark skill, which I don't really have many Bulwark users, so he was one of my first ones. So that is Summer Ogma. Number 93 is Echidna, who I completed on August 9th of 2023. Her refine's amazing, definitely one of the best, having Unity and also damage reflection, so that's really sick. And I just like Echidna's character. She's really, you know, good karma, basically. She helps a lot of people with, you know, building homes, basically, and you know, she got blessed with a good weapon refine. So I always wanted to build Echidna from way back in the day, because I did play Binding Blade just like Wendy. I kind of had a soft spot for her, so when she got this refine, I was like, there's my signal to finally build her. So there's Echidna for number 93. Number 94 is Ascended Tiki, or Ascended Tiki. I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah, this was kind of another unexpected plus 10, because when her debut banner came out, I just wanted one copy of her, but then I ended up getting a lot. I was like, you know what, she's one of the first Archanea Ascended. I don't remember if she was the first or not, but I was like, you know what, let me try to get merges, and I got very, very lucky. So I got her like +4 that banner, and then got copies over time on legendaries, and then I finished her merges on one of the banners. I don't remember which banner it was, but it only took like 5 summons, or like 2 summons to complete her. I have a video on my channel, so it was pretty awesome. So I completed her, and she is pretty good as a frontline tank. You know, Woken Breath is still pretty good, and her Pure FC altogether is also pretty nice. So she's a fun tank to use here and there. I pair her with Kade and Lynn, so she can get no follow-up and still maintain Dragon Wall. So that is Ascended Tiki, who I completed on August 12th of 2023. Number 95 is Wind Tribe Katria, who I completed on September 10th of 2023. I made a summoning video for her, and she's amazing. Arcane Nastron, the first bow unit that I gave the Arcane Bow to, and Deadeye Attack Speed Unity, and the first unit I gave Guidance 4 as well, so that's pretty sick. And again, Katria is my favorite White Wing, so it was a no-brainer. I had to try and merge her up, and I did. So that's her at number 95. Number 96 is Spring Michalis. He does not want to be here, but he's still rocking the bunny outfit pretty well. 20th Grail unit for me, and I completed him September 12th of 2023. And he is a very bulky Lance Flyer, even though there's better ones like obviously Arion, but for me, you know, he's Archanea, so I had to build him. And I gave him Arcane Xiang, my only Arcane Xiang, attack defense cache, flow defense, or flow or trace with attack defense menace, so he's pretty fun to use sometimes. So Fruiting Ambition Michalis is my number, what is this, 96 Grail unit, or 96 plus 10, 20th Grail unit. And then the next one is another Grail unit, which is Tea Time Tail 2, one of my favorite alts from this year, because I love Tail 2, and this alt is absolutely adorable, and she deserves to be happy. So I was stoked when this was revealed. This is my 21st Grail unit, and I completed her on October 3 of 2023, and this build is really sick. Actually, this is not the build I usually use. I think I usually use Tea Time Set, yeah. Tea Time Set is what I usually use because it gives you no follow-up, partial no follow-up, and Canto, which is awesome with Desperation and the attack speed Oath. So Canto with Oath is always nice. So that's what I went for with this build. And most mages these days want to use like magical no follow-up. So I figured I'd do something different with Desperation 4 from Lysithea. So she's very fun to use. So that is Tea Time Tail 2 for number 97. And then number 98 is Etier. So Etier is one of those girls in Engaged. I think it's kind of underrated. She's adorable. I really love her supports, and she's, even though she's like a workout junkie, she's pretty awesome and kind. And I guess I liked her more than I thought I would. So I completed her. I gave her Arcane Darkbow from Alcris, Flash Sparrow, so a pretty premium build, I guess. I don't have Tempo 4, but this will do, and it can help me trigger Deadeyes really, really easily. So this is a pretty sick build. And I completed her on October 19th of 2023, and she's my first, I think she's my first engaged character that I plus 10'd, I think. So that is Etier, the Fitness Queen. Number 99 is Nina, fitting. So the last princess. This build is very budget. I don't really have, at this point, I don't have crazy healer skills. I mean, I do kind of. I have another Seaside Parasol, but I don't want to make her build just like Elise's. So I just made her, you know, keep her default staff. I guess it's good for Rucker. For Rucker Sieges, if it ever comes back, because that mode is really, really rare. I wish they would bring it back more, but yeah. This build is very budget, like I said. Fortress Res with Breath of Life, Drive Attack. So that's the build for her, but yeah, she has amazing art, and Nina definitely deserves it, so I wanted to add her to my barracks. I completed her November 2 of 2023, and finally, number 100, which is Citrine. So I think I mentioned it earlier, but I free summoned her actually, and she's one of the characters I did spend for, just like Kade and Lynn. So I did kind of dolphin for her, but it was worth it because Citrine is one of my favorite mages in the series. I absolutely love her from Engage, and you know, I love her weapon. She's insanely good. She's basically like a green modern Ophelia kind of, but that can do more. So Tome of Luxuries is perfect for a character, you know, spreading the wealth and spreading all the effects, and she's helped me a ton. And like Summer Riddles, you guys saw my, if you saw my rank 1 run, she helped a lot in that. And yeah, it was amazing. I was able to free summon her. I made a tweet and I was like, you know, it'd be crazy if my last merge was free summon, and I did on a random batter when she wasn't even on it. So that was incredible. So yeah, I can't make this stuff up, but I was able to plus 10 her, and I actually just free summoned her again recently. So I have another Special Spiral 4 fodder, which is pretty awesome. So Citrine just keeps showing up, and yeah, that's her at number 100, and she's definitely one of my best mages and definitely one of my most meta units, I guess. So I completed her November 3 of 2023. So that is all 100 of my plus 10s. If you're still watching this video, props to you, because this video is extremely long, but if you still watched it, you might as well leave it a like. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about all these units that I built. So yeah, that's 100. I will be continuing to hero merit grind as much as I can, of course, if the people still make the solutions, of course. And again, their links are in the description. So big shout out to them again. And, you know, here's to 100 more, I guess, to 200 eventually at some point. I mean, it's taken me 6 years, so it's going to be a long time. But the next plus 10 I hope to finish, I have a couple actually, but the one I'm trying to finish is Lapis. So Citrine's partner in crime. I only need 3 more copies for Lapis, so hopefully she shows up. She's so hard to summon. I swear, it might take a couple more months, but hopefully not. But yeah, this is the build I have for her, my first Arcane Devourer user. So maybe she'll be 101, I don't know. But I have a lot of feathers right now. I think I have yeah, 225,000. That's all from Hero Merit. Not all, but a lot of it's from Hero Merit grinding that I did the past week. So yeah, that is all 100 of them. I'll leave them up on the screen just to show them again. But yeah, that is the video, guys. Hopefully, maybe this inspires you to maybe hero merit grind yourself so you can get your barracks as strong as mine. I mean, I don't want to seem like I'm flexing, or I hope this isn't too self-indulgent, but I feel like this was just an accomplishment I wanted to talk about and I can look back on fondly. So that's all 100 of them. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's super long, but you know, if you're still watching, like I said, you might as well leave it a like. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Please stay safe out there. Peace out.